The ICC's biennial marquee T20 event this year is the ICC T20 World Cup 2024, the 9th edition. This one will, of course, be played in the United States of America and the West Indies. And to talk about this sport's youngest format, we've got three young men with different hairdos, Bhattacharjya, Simon Doull and Manoj Tiwary alongside. Gentlemen, from one to the other, another T20 event, but this time it's countries versus countries. What are your expectations?
For me, look, this is the best format to grow the game. Yeah. And what I love about this format is that new teams come in time and time again. We've seen 3 new teams this time round. I think the growth of the game around the world is T20 cricket. So I'd like to see a 24-team World Cup next time, a 32-team. Go to the football model, because the more teams we can get, the more countries we can get involved in T20 cricket, the better for it, and leave the longer formats to the top 8-10 teams. That's my point on it. I love this format and I love the idea of the competition.
USA, Canada and Uganda, the newbies on this big stage. Good for the game, Joy?
Excellent. I mean, you're looking at what are we seeing? We're seeing the Olympics, again the T20 format going to happen in 28. What you're seeing is there are 5.4 million South Asians there in America right now.
Yeah.
That's already a base which you can really hit hard, okay? And I think growing the game in America is extremely important because those two are the big markets. America and South America are the two big markets which have very little of cricket. So it's an important World Cup and it's at a very, very important inflection point for cricket. With the Olympics and everything going, this is the time to establish cricket really strongly.
T20 has changed gears really, Manoj. We saw that at the IPL as well. Batting is different. 200 is no more a safe score. It'll be fun to see if countries will be able to adapt to this version of T20 cricket at the World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. See, in IPL what happened, the impact player has made a major role in big scores. Yep. But I don't think it's going to happen in T20. So obviously we know it's going to happen in West Indies and USA. So we most likely to get a little slower pitches over there. So highest runs are very less to get in those tracks. So it will be up to the batsmanship, how they approach this T20 format. But I completely agree with Simon and Joy that we need more of T20 and more countries to participate to take this into the future.
England have won it twice. England are also defending champions. The hosts, West Indies, have also won it twice. Who starts favourites? Because favourites, that word belongs to different teams every month in this format, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. In fact, what I'd like to say is that really for me, no team is a clear favourite. Because I think Australia is a really strong team. But in the conditions in which they're playing, perhaps these are not the most suitable conditions for Australia. Yeah. So for me, I'd still have to say, with the firepower they have, they just lack a leader for me, a strong leader for me. I think the West Indies by a little bit is my favourite.
Oh, power and spin bowling. I think, and what Manoj just said about batsmanship, I don't think we're going to see 230, 240 scores, and I think a lot of great quality batsmanship is going to come into it. So that brings teams that can score in the 170 to 190 range right into the game. So it brings New Zealand into the game. It brings South Africa into the game big time, because they don't have the power of a West Indies, I don't think. They don't probably have the power of an Australian lineup. So it brings those two sides for me into the game a lot, but I think the best quality spin bowling attack.
Yep, for you, favourites?
Favourites is India, of course, because all the 3 departments of the game is covered by Indian team. But I completely agree. Other teams are right there in the neck with the Indian team, like New Zealand and Australia as well.
There's been so much chat about what India will do at the World Cup. 1.4 billion Indians scarred on the 19th of November. Is there a soothing balm on offer at the end of this all? At the World Cup, India, the squad going in with Rohit and Virat, the 2 big guns. Chahal is back in the squad. India going with Bumrah and Siraj, the 2 paces. Hardik Pandya, the lone pace bowling all-rounder in the side. The return of Rishabh Pant, Sanju Samson and Shivam Dube rewarded for their IPL form. All bases covered, Joy?
I think it is. And, in the beginning, I was a bit worried because Rohit is captaining it. And I think what happens if Rohit is captaining it is you have Rohit and Virat have to play in the top 3. Yeah. And, they probably have to open as well. So around that, you're setting the balance aside. But now if you're thinking about it, if you look at the kind of pitches, maybe the US pitches may be faster. Okay. But the West Indian pitches, they're slower. Okay. 170, 180 kind of totals Virat is the master. Yeah. There's nobody better than him in the world to play those conditions. And Rohit will adapt pretty well as well. So I think that extra experience that India has, which I was looking at it as a disadvantage if they were playing on absolutely flat tracks, because those guys will not go at 180, 200 like maybe an Abhishek or a Jaiswal would. But I think if you're batting at 140, 150, this is the right Indian batting side.
So, I mean, good call to go in with the big guns. And does this side have all bases covered?
I think they have the spin bowlers, the best spin bowling department in the tournament. And that is what I just mentioned before. You know, that's what's going to win you this tournament, I think, in the latter part of it, in particular down in the Caribbean as it gets warmer. And they have that covered. I was a little surprised when Rinku Singh didn't get picked. I thought that lack of real finishing power that he provides, and his form through the IPL wasn't quite good enough, and that's the reason for leaving him out. But quality spinners, batters that can almost guarantee you between 180 and 200, and if they have a great day, more, I think it's got a lot of bases covered.
India is, of course, the blockbuster side. It really gets bums on seats, but from a cricketing logic point of view, is there a weakness in this squad and one player to watch out for?
Well, I've always looked up to Surya Kumar as one player to watch out for, because in my opinion, he's the best T20 batter in this format at this point of time in world cricket. So I'm going to back him, and I want him to see at number 3 position, no matter what batting order they choose up front. But most likely, if they go with Virat and Rohit up opening slot, then obviously I'll go with Surya Kumar Yadav. I think missing link would be Rinku Singh. Obviously, the selector and the captain did mention in the interview that he had done nothing wrong. It's just that somehow it didn't fit in. But I'm completely agree that the finishing power of Rinku might have helped to secure the 100% guarantee of India reaching the finals and lifting the trophy.
Now, while it is an ICC event, Joy, you would know better, the business side of cricket is such that the Indian audience seems to influence the scheduling as well. Local time, morning, 9, 10 a.m. Is when India's matches start. Does that help India in any way?
I don't think it hurts India. It doesn't help India. But the point of it is that it is, see, the one thing that you can make out, it's a magic, and it's the biggest coincidence in world cricket, that India and Pakistan, no matter what happens, are always in the same group.
It's ordained.
I don't know how it happens every time. But
It's right though, Joy, because we don't get to see that. We just don't get to see that outside of a World Cup. We don't. So I love it. No matter what they do, no matter what jiggery pokery goes on to make it happen, I love the fact that it happens. And I don't care if it happens every tournament.
It will happen every tournament.
Exactly, because I want to see it. And the billion people here and the however many in Pakistan, they want to see it as well. And most of us around the world, as a neutral, I want to see that game. So I have no problem with it. Carry on.
No, absolutely. No. I'm okay with it. It's just that I find it amazing. But I think what you need to do is, if you're looking at the way the game is going and the way India is playing, I think what you're seeing now is that these encounters, are going to become very crucial, because you're opening up new markets, and the time of the day that you're playing, it just hurts a bit because, T20 requires atmosphere, but there's such a big television audience out here that you cannot ignore it. And I can tell you, I know which part of the India you come from. There'll be 20,000 Gujaratis who don't need any liquor to drive that stadium crazy early in the morning at 10 o'clock in the morning.
The Patels, the Shahs, the Malhotras, the Singhs will all be there. You won't find one vacant seat, Simon. I promise you that.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. And maybe there's some method in the madness of going with more of a test style side. Because they always have to get up early anyway.
Oh, yeah. Some of them won't sleep a week.
No point picking up too many T20 players who are used to sleeping all day and going to work at 5 o'clock like us.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to pick test players who are used to getting up at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. Maybe it's not a bad thing.
Why do you think Aksar's in the team? Because he's a great player, but also in the US you have motels, hotels and patels.
India last won a T20 World Cup in 07. Will it be a lucky 9th time for the Indian team? Possibly Rohit and Virat's last rodeo at a world event. Day games, advantage India, no due? What do you think?
Well, advantage best spin bowlers, and that's why I like the fact that if you've got a great spin bowling attack, it doesn't change, it doesn't get wet at night, and you don't have to worry about those things. So to me, probably going to see a lot more batting first, not chasing. I think batting first, runs on the board, pitches drying up, maybe slowing up a little bit. The temperature's not going to change too much. It's going to be warm. It's going to be warm in the morning, it's going to be warm in the afternoon, so that won't change too much. But I think as the surfaces wear just a touch, get runs on the board and then bring your spinners into the game.
One Indian player each, two of you.
I mean, look, it's difficult to look beyond Surya Kumar Yadav, just because he's just such a dominating influence. And I think if you look at it, even in the IPL, he's scoring more than 500 runs, batting at number 4. I mean, at that position to bat and get those kind of runs, he's just unique. And I think he's a game changer. He's not going to come off in every match, but I think India understands that. They're steadier batters. But the day he comes off, he'll finish the match.
Bumrah. Look, I mean, it's going to be a tough tournament, I think, at times for the quick bowlers, but he has got every base covered as far as bowling is concerned. New ball, old ball, slower balls, Yorkers, you name it, he's got it. He will be the bowler of the tournament, or the quick bowler of the tournament for me.
20 teams in the fray, total of 55 matches, but the cynics say it's essentially the Super 8s that'll count. But if I had to ask you guys to pick your semi-finalists before even a ball is bowled.
India, New Zealand, Australia and England.
Wow, no England for me. I think they are a very good side on 230, 240 wickets. I'm not sure that they will be as good. India, South Africa are my dark horses. They're the ones I think can win the tournament. I will put Australia in, and I'll put the West Indies in there at home.
Again, India, West Indies and Australia. Australia just, you don't have a world tournament with the Australia not reaching up. And I think I'll just give it again New Zealand because they have that experience. They end up sneaking through every time.
Now, Simon's mentioned South Africa as dark horses. The two of you, would you like to pick a team that can surprise us all?
I think Pakistan for me.
As always.
As always. They're going to
Never
be the
know
dark
what they're up
horse.
to.
Yeah. They might surprise everyone, but we can't trust them. We assume by looking at the squad how good they are, but somehow they can't execute the plan sometimes.
Maybe the calmness of Gary Kirsten will help them, who knows, right?
Yeah, not that he's had very much time. He
yeah.
started on Zoom calls, and then at least now he's finally got his hands on the team. But no, for me, again, enigmatic side, South Africa. So much talent on hand. You know, they have a lot of talent out there. You know, they've got the players. Somebody like Klaasen, who's probably after Surya the best T20 batter in the world. So they can be dangerous, and this is a short format. You can be very dangerous at these days.
I think 2 years of their local T20 tournament has certainly helped bring players on as well. You look at what Tristan Stubbs was able to do in the IPL. Players like that are now, they don't just rely on a Miller to finish games off. So I just think that 2 years of that T20 league they've had has just put them in a slightly better place.
Excellent. Guys, coffee is on its way, so is a hamper. We've got a quick rapid fire. Before we wrap up very quickly, who will be the MVP of the tournament?
Starting me, Surya Kumar Yadav.
Travis Head.
Jasprit Bumrah.
Best batter?
If I've said Surya Kumar Yadav, I stay with that.
I'm going to have to stay with mine as well.
I'll give two options. Like for me, Surya and Mohammad Rizwan.
Okay, highest wicket taker, not for you since you picked Bumrah already.
Hasaranga.
Ooh.
Missed out on the ODI World Cup. He will be hungry, yeah.
I'll throw a left field one at you. Akil Hussain.
Ooh, interesting.
Can bat and bowl. Oh yeah, can open the bowling as well. Right, one player who could surprise us all.
Just one player.
One player.
From any team.
Any team.
Rashid Khan.
Will it be a surprise if he does well? Because he's had a poor IPL, isn't it?
Yeah, he didn't look like in a good rhythm.
Okay.
And he was injured as well. So, keeping in mind the pitches will be a little slower.
For me, their team probably will not go past the group stage, but I really like Ali Khan. I mean, plays a lot of Caribbean Premier League, plays for the US, has played for the Trinbago Knight Riders. Interesting, has played top-level competition, but is playing for a small side. He's surprised Bangladesh already while in their tour. I think he'll surprise a few teams.
I'll go back to my roots and say that don't be surprised if Glenn Phillips has as big a role to play with the ball as he does with the bat.
Yep.
And he's a gun in the field as well.
Right.
Don't be surprised with that.
Among the lesser known teams, is there a team yet that you reckon will give us at least one big upset in this World Cup? US has beaten Bangladesh twice. Is there a team?
US is one team. The team I like because they are very consistent. A lot of their guys play a lot of county cricket and they have a basic level of preparation. The Netherlands for me is a very solid team. You know, Basti lead and his boys, they're just excellent.
I was thinking Netherlands. I looked through that last group and you think Bangladesh, South Africa, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Netherlands.
Yeah.
It's a group where you South Africa will be worried about Netherlands. Having what happened in Australia. So if I'm going to go with someone different, what about Papua New Guinea to upset Uganda in that group there, and just a little win for Papua New Guinea.
Okay.
Well, I'll go with Bangladesh. will upset some of the big teams.
Bangladesh winning is now an upset.
Yeah.
Well, he's right.
Since they have lost twice now to USA, so I'll think Bangladesh.
Lovely. These three youngsters have given us a nice little appetizer to what's going to be a fun World Cup, and we've got you covered with Cricbuzz Live every day of that World Cup. See you then. Bye for now.